What's up, gamers? This week on Movie Snobs, we will crack open the history book as we take a look at 2023's Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Napoleon 2023 depicts the life and tumultuous marriage of its titular character. The film flies through historical events, starting with the graphic death of Marie Antoinette and rapidly progressing through the Thermidorian reaction, the Siege of Toulon, the whiff of Grapeshot, the 18 Brumaire coup, the invasion of Egypt, the Battle of Austerlitz, the invasion of Russia, all the way until Napoleon's final defeat at Waterloo. While the film includes these events, it uses them to provide context for Napoleon's mental state and the state of his marital relationship. The film takes a Freudian approach to Napoleon's psychology. It concentrates on his maternal relationship and how this relationship transfers to his marriage. To that end, Napoleon is depicted as both emotionally vulnerable and narcissistic. After the Siege of Toulon, he demands that his brother send a cannonball which nearly hit him to their mother. After Napoleon marries Josephine, he transfers this need for validation to her, a move that will ultimately lead to his downfall and reshape the states of Europe. Shortly after his marriage, Napoleon encounters his first major setback in Egypt. He encounters his mortality after uncovering the mummy of a pharaoh. Reports in the news lead him to question his wife's fidelity, and he angrily confronts her. In a bizarre monologue, he demands to be known as, quote, the greatest man in the world. Napoleon's need for validation ultimately leads to him overthrowing the government, crowning himself emperor, and invading most of Europe. With the continent dominated, Britain quickly becomes his arch-nemesis. The London press refuses to validate Napoleon and pokes fun at his failing marriage, while the British Navy continues to resist on the high seas. Meanwhile, Josephine is no longer impressed with Napoleon's conquests, and her infertility deeply troubles him. The emperor leaves his wife for the Princess of Austria. However, he cannot escape from the complexes that control him. Napoleon's empire and mental state quickly collapse as he invades Russia, the cold climate mirroring the maternal warmth and acceptance that he cannot access. In spite of his divorce, Napoleon remains obsessed with Josephine, and his obsession continues as his empire is overwhelmed. Ultimately, Napoleon is denied the power and validation he desires and dies in exile on St. Helena. While the history behind Napoleon 2023 was questionable at times, it was an interesting take on Napoleon as a character. I enjoyed Joaquin Phoenix's performance even when it appeared ridiculous. The movie had a lot of humor, including a scene in which a member of the Assembly of Delegates was arrested during a breakfast he described as succulent, which for the uninitiated is a reference to a 1991 video of a man being arrested outside a Chinese restaurant. The film also referenced at least one other Hollywood film and depicted cannonballs bouncing off the Great Pyramid of Giza. Overall, I would recommend Napoleon if you can endure the 2-hour, 40-minute runtime. The film was so long that I had to stop and get lunch from the student union. Anyway, what did you think of Napoleon? Are you a fan of Joaquin Phoenix? Do you enjoy historical movies? Let me know on Instagram at ZTV Goofing Off.